In today's video, I'm going to show you how to create a WordPress website in less than 10 minutes. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Megan. If you have not been here before, thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited to jump into today's video where I'm going to be showing you how to design a WordPress website without knowing how to code. I think a lot of people have this misunderstanding that WordPress is super complicated, it might be one of the more advanced platforms, and that it requires a lot of coding knowledge, but to be honest, that's just not always the truth. I like to use page builders and theme builders on my WordPress websites, and that saves me so much time from having to go and manually code everything in there. So I'm going to be showing you guys specifically in this video how to use Divi, which is one of my favorite page builders for WordPress websites, not only because you can have unlimited websites under a lifetime package, so you pay $249 one time and you can use it on all of your clients' websites if this is the platform that you want to go with. But I also really enjoy Divi because when I hand off my clients' websites to them for them to edit on their own, I've noticed that a lot of them have an easier time editing with Divi and knowing how to add images to the page, how to add text to the page, and how to really manage it on their own without having to know how to do website design. So I love Divi for many reasons. However, I do know that a lot of people get concerned with Divi because it can slow down the website, and also transferring away from Divi can be a little trickier because they have their own coding language. I think it's like short codes that they use on the back end. So definitely make this decision carefully. If this is something that you want to use long term, I think it's a great solution. But I will say that I do feel it's a case by case basis, determining what the website's goal is and also knowing how the business will grow into the website is super important before you decide which page builder to go with. I know that a lot of people get concerned with Divi and other page builders because it can sometimes affect the speed of the website. Divi is a little bit of a bigger page builder compared to others. However, I've never had issues with it slowing down the website because there's quite a few steps I take to make sure the website is optimized and runs really well. One of those steps is making sure that you have a caching plugin, or that you are making sure to clear out those caches a little more often than usual. And on top of that, you can install a CDN on Cloudflare or something like that if you want to speed up the site. But not only that, sometimes you have to make sure that your images are optimized, and sometimes even installing a plugin to smush those images to make sure that those are not slowing down the website is crucial. So I go over all of this in my course. If you want to check that out, I have a WordPress website design course, but I really just want to jump into this quick tutorial to show you how to design a WordPress website really quickly and how you can hand this off to clients to manage on their own. So let's get right into it. So every WordPress website has to have a hosting account. A hosting account for WordPress sites is basically the heart of the website. It is where the website runs off of. It's the database, it's where all the files are stored, SSL certificates installed on hosting, and it's really necessary to have a really good hosting platform, especially for the speed and performance of your website. So I've gone through lots of hosting platforms in the past. Through my clients, I've used Bluehost, I've used HostGator, I've used a lot of the hosting accounts, but I always go back to SiteGround, and I typically recommend that for my clients because I love the customer service, and I think that websites on SiteGround run really, really smoothly, and I just think it comes with a lot of really great features for a really great price. So SiteGround has quite a few different pricing options, which I will show you right here. If you go to SiteGround, you would want to go to WordPress and go to WordPress hosting. And as you scroll down, you will see that we have a startup plan, Grow Big plan, and Go Geek plan. So I have the Grow Big plan because I can have unlimited websites, and it's $4.99 a month. And I just think it has a really great value for being able to host as many websites as I want. Now, something to keep in mind though is the gigabyte of space, because that is where the speed can technically be affected a little bit. If you take up all the space on your hosting account, it might affect the way you're designing and adding new websites. So even though it says unlimited, you might reach those gigabytes if you are adding like 20 plus websites to your back end. So just keep that in mind. But typically I always go with the Grow Big plan because I like to design my clients' websites on my account. And then once we're ready to launch and go live, then I will go and transfer it over to their account using either a plugin or sometimes FTP. Really depends on the size of the website and stuff, and if I can use a plugin to transfer it to make it live on their account. But this is totally up to you on which plan you want to go with. If you're only planning to have your website, then you could get away with this, but I do like to have the Grow Big plan. So I already have that plan. So I'm going to log into my account and we are going to start to set up my WordPress site. And I'm going to show you how to design it really quickly. If you need to just get like a landing page up or a super easy page up, then this is how you can do it really fast and without having to know how to code. So I'm going to go to the websites tab within my SiteGround dashboard. As you can see, I do have quite a bit of websites in here. A lot of these are really small databases because some of these were just small websites and I do need to go through and clean these out. But as you can see, I do have a lot of websites because these are where I will design my client site. And sometimes I will swap their old site with their new site on here just so we have a backup that's live, but that's not really something I need to go into on this video. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to a new website and we're going to just design this on a temporary domain. I like to do temporary domain, especially for my client sites. That way I'm not having to change the DNS like name servers and all that. Like I just want to build on temporary and then we can figure out where we want to put this live afterwards. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to hit continue and I'm going to select start new website. And this all depends if you want to have WooCommerce, but I'm going to just select WordPress and I'm also going to add in my login information. And then once it'll kind of like take you through the process, but I'm going to say finish and we're going to move to the next step. So to get to the admin, we can go to site tools. And once we are there, we can go to WordPress, install and manage, and click right here to log into the admin panel. Okay, so now it has this little wizard setup thing, but we don't really need that. I'm going to exit the wizard. It's going to take us straight to the WordPress dashboard. So once we're in here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to install Divi, which Divi is the visual builder that I mentioned that I'm using in this video. So I'm going to go to Appearance, Themes, Add New Theme, and I'm going to upload the theme and install it this way. Divi is nice because you can use it on unlimited websites. So you pay one time and you have it for all the websites in the future. While that's installing, I'm going to go grab a new API key for Divi. That way I can activate it and allow for updates in the future. So Divi's activated. So now I'm going to go to Divi theme options and we're going to go to updates. I'm going to type in my username and paste in that API key. That way, like I said, we can make updates in the future. Website looks like it's not completed yet. And this is actually for my brand that I'll be launching later this year. So I thought this would be a perfect example to show you and also to help me get ahead. So after installing the WordPress and also uploading the Divi theme to my WordPress dashboard, now we can go into the theme options and just set up some global settings for like the logo and the colors. So I'm going to do that really quickly. I'm going to go export a lot of these files. And actually, while we already have Figma open, I think I'm just going to go through and create these grouped images and export all of them now. That way we don't have to keep going back and forth. So we have this image, all the little graphics and icons, these little GIF icons that I created, this image and that. So I'm going to export all of those as I'm going to do like ×2 because I like when they look really like crisp and high quality. So exporting those layers and I'm going to pick where to save that. So I'm adding all those images in here and once that's loaded in, I'm just going to select that logo and I'm also just going to quickly kind of add some of these colors that need to be used a lot more often. So 653, you know what, actually I'm just going to go to Figma and we'll quickly just copy this over. Much faster to do it this way. Add that in. I'll add the beige since that's a lot of the background color. But since I'm just showing you guys quickly, I don't want to spend too much time adding each one in that I won't be needing to use like all of them right now. Some of those main colors that I use most commonly. Well, you can just leave it like that for now. So I have all the colors in there. And then another thing that I typically do on my websites is I add some code here with the custom fonts. But we don't really need to do that right now because I'll just show you how to add them through the theme customizer on WordPress. I'm going to save these changes, and if I go to pages here, this is how I create a completely custom website using Divi. This is how I build the page from scratch. So I'm going to go add new page, and we're going to call this home. We'll do test. Use Divi Builder, and once that loads in, we are going to say build from scratch. So as you can see, I already designed the footer, which I'll show you guys how I did that, but we're just going to start building the website. So I like to reference my Figma design and see that I have up top here, which luckily we already loaded in those images, which is super helpful. So we'll add that image here. I'm going to change the background color to the beige color, which I did not copy over. So let me grab that real quick and let's add it in. Here we go. And then I'm also going to add some text, which to be honest, I think I'm going to add the fonts in later because once I add them in, it'll be a global setting on everything. So I don't have to worry about changing it everywhere. So let's select that, paste it in here, and do H1. H1 is typically always that front and center text, that main like mission statement. So let's change the color to that. Let's add another piece of text here for that paragraph down below. And change the color. And let's also center it. Okay, so I'm showing you guys how to do this from scratch in less than 10 minutes, which is definitely a challenge. If you were using like a template and stuff, it'd be probably a little bit easier, but I did want to show you how to do it from scratch because that's typically what I like to offer my clients. Okay, so for the button, I'm actually going to save this as a global button that way, or like save it as a template so I can use this button design for all the other ones as well. So we're going to change the background color to green. We're going to change the text to all capital and also shrink the text size to like 16 is fine. And I also don't want a border, so I'm going to remove that border. I don't want radius either, so I'm going to remove that. And I think that's perfect. So let's actually align it center. And as you can see, it's like not centered with the image. So what I would do for that is go to the row settings, go to design, and depends, you can do it either way. You can do it equalizing column height if you wanted. I don't really want to do that. What I'm going to do is go over to this specific column and add spacing above and below, but only for desktop. So I'm going to hit 50. We can do like 100, and that should kind of center things for us. I also kind of want to make this section a little bit wider. So I'm going to go to sizing, and we're going to change that width to like 1200, and then we can do this at like 90. That way it's just a little bit bigger. And let me check the alignment on this. Perfect. Okay, so there's the first section. And like I said, fonts will be added later, so we don't need to worry about that yet. This will be a shop. I've gone back and forth on whether I want to design this site on Shopify or WordPress, but I think I'll keep it on WordPress, and most likely we'll just add Shopify buy buttons. So I'm just going to add images for now as placeholders. Also, I'm going to show you guys how to change the background color of the whole site because I do not want stark white. It's not my vibe for this website. So to change that, we can go to those three dots here, settings and background, change it for both the content and the section. You can also do this in the WordPress settings themselves. But let's keep going. We're going to do regular. This is a 2-section one, and actually we are going to want to make this a full width section. So I'm going to go to design sizing. We're going to hit 100% here. We're also going to do 100% there. That way it's full to the edges. And then reference the Figma. So the image is on the left hand side, so I'm going to go to image here, You can either add it in this way or you can add it as a background image, but let's see how this looks to start. Perfect. And then we will add some text over here, but this right hand side is green. So I'm going to go to that specific column and select that green color. And you know, actually we could do it a little bit differently to make this look a lot nicer. Change the whole background color of the section and shrink that spacing on the top and bottom so that we don't see that padding. And then same for this area here. Okay, perfect. And then we can add text in this way. And you might be wondering, like, okay, there's no spacing now on the top and bottom of the text, but to change that, we can change it for this specific text box. So I'm going to go to spacing 100 and that'll shrink it down. We can also change the left and right hand side spacing so that looks better. 100 should be good. So I'm going to hit publish just so we don't lose anything and so we can keep on moving forward. Also, I want to add that graphic that we have. So I'm going to go to image here. Actually, I think I'm going to add it above this section by doing a really shrunken row. So let's shrink that a lot, and then let's shrink this a lot, and let's add that element to give it some more design aspect. And we're going to want to line this all the way to the left. We also want this row to be completely 100%. So let's do that. Perfect. And now we need it to overlap with this bottom section. So to do that, I'm going to go to design. We're going to shrink this sizing a lot. And just so we can play with the transform settings instead. So I'm going to go to transform and we are just going to drag that down. And then to get it on top of the section, we are going to have to go to advanced, visibility. Let's do hidden. That way it doesn't fall off the page. And then let's also go to position and play around with the way that is placed. Default. Okay, it should change when you do that position setting, but we'll have to see when it's live if it looks better. But let me actually increase the size of it a bit more. Okay, scroll effects, position. Let's just say 500, that way it's fully on top. And then let's just continue with the next section. So we're gonna do regular. And now this is the scrolling bar. So I am going to want to do, it's a code, but I don't really want a code right now, so I'll do that later. But I'm just gonna add the bar in here now with that color. Okay, and then let's shrink this quite a bit. And then we'll do white text. That will be the scrolling bar. Okay, so I'm going to take a little pause and we're going to go add the font. That way we can see how it's looking, because design-wise it's hard to tell how it's looking until you have those fonts in there. Like, I just have to see it. So let's go to Theme Customizer and see if this font is available. Don't think it is, but I just want to double check. So header font would be, I know that one for a fact is not in here. Body font might be. Let's see. Perfect, that one is. And then for the body text color, we can do that, body link color that, and that should be good. But for the header font, I don't want that font, but we can leave this for now. That should be okay. I'm gonna hit publish, and that is basically how I design custom websites super fast on WordPress. Of course, there's lots of other things that I like to add, like transitions, and when you're loading up the page, like some fun little ways to load it in and like effects and everything. But that's how I can do it really quickly, especially for custom websites. If you're doing templates and stuff, that could be done within seconds. But I wanted to show you guys how to build a completely custom site too. That's not cookie cutter. So yeah, hope you enjoyed. All right, I hope that helps you understand how to design a WordPress website without having to know code, and how to do it honestly pretty fast, and also how to hand it off to clients so they're not intimidated editing it on their own. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you want to see more. Like this video if you enjoyed it, and let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one.